Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty complex but really important. Sourcing injection molds, specifically from China.
Yeah, it's a big topic. You shared a fantastic guide, super comprehensive.
It really is. So our mission here is to, pull out the absolute must-knows for you, help you navigate this without getting totally lost in the weeds.
Exactly, kind of a streamlined path through all that info, focusing on smart choices and avoiding those common traps.
Okay, let's jump right in. Why China? I mean, the guide makes it pretty clear the main draw is often cost, right?
Cost is definitely a huge factor. Lower manufacturing costs, labor, scale, it all adds up.
Plus, a lot of factories there have seriously good technology now. It's not like it was maybe 20 years ago.
No, definitely not. You can find advanced capabilities,
Mhm.
but, and this is a big, but the guide stresses,
It's a balancing act.
it really is.
Yeah.
You got those potential savings, sure, but you have to weigh them against the risks.
Like inconsistent quality, which can be a nightmare.
Right. Or communication barriers, sorting out logistics, and the really critical one, protecting your IP, your designs.
Yeah, the guide basically says if you just chase the absolute rock bottom price without thinking about safeguards.
You're asking for trouble. It can end up costing you way more down the line.
Okay, so let's break it down. Step one, the absolute bedrock, defining exactly what you need. The guide really hammers this home.
Oh, absolutely. Before you even think about suppliers, you need incredible detail.
We're talking super precise 2D, 3D CAD files, step format, ideally.
Yep. And the exact plastic resin. Is it standard ABS or PP or something tricky like PEEK or a glass-filled nylon?
Uh-huh. And tolerances too, right? Like how precise does it need to be, plus surface thinner.
Exactly. Specify the SPI finish, maybe a VDI texture.
Yeah.
And crucial, estimated production volume and the mold's lifespan.
Which links to those SPI mold classifications, like is it a class 104 for maybe 100,000 parts or class 101 for over 1 million?
Got it. Any ambiguity here? It just causes problems later. Be specific up front.
Okay, crystal clear specs done. Now, finding the supplier. Where do you look?
The guide lists a few avenues. You've got the big B2B sites like Alibaba, Made in China.
But use with caution, more like starting points.
Yeah, exactly. Treat them as a phone book, maybe. Industry associations, trade shows like Canton Fair or China Plus, those are often better starting points.
More reliable introductions, maybe?
Often, yes. And referrals, networking always valuable if you can get them.
The guide mentions regional hubs too, like Guangdong, Zhejiang.
It does. Shenzhen for electronics, Taizhou for auto and household. But the key takeaway is don't rely on the region.
Right. A factory's individual capability is what matters, not just its address.
Precisely. You need to vet each one individually.
Which brings us neatly to due diligence. You've got a short list, now you need to really check them out. It's more than just a website.
So much more. Verify everything. Business license and get the official Chinese name. That's important. Check certifications.
ISO 9001 is kind of baseline, but specifics like medical or auto certs are better indicators if you need them.
Right. They show systems are in place. Doesn't guarantee perfect quality, but it's a good sign. Check their reputation, references, maybe even financial stability.
And the technical side, like have they made molds like yours before? Similar complexity, materials?
Yeah, what's their equipment like? CNCs, CMMs, do they subcontract work? And critically, how's their communication? English-speaking project managers.
Poor communication early on, big red flag.
Huge red flag. If it's tough now, imagine when there's a problem.
Then audits and samples. Gotta see the factory, right? In person, ideally.
Ideally, yes. Video can work as a backup. And samples, T1 samples, absolutely non-negotiable. You need to test those thoroughly.
And expect tweaks, probably. First ones are rarely perfect.
Almost never. Be ready to give detailed feedback.
Okay, moving to actually engaging them. Getting quotes, the RFQ.
Send out a detailed RFQ, all those specs we talked about. Remember the saying?
Yeah.
You get what you specify.
Good point. And send it to just a few, maybe 3, 5, that you've already vetted.
And crucially, get an NDA signed before you send designs. Better yet, an NNN agreement designed for China.
Right, the non-disclosure, non-use, non-circumvention, much stronger there.
Definitely. Then analyze the quotes you get back.
Right.
Don't just look at the price tag.
What else? Mold steel type, cavities, lead time, included services.
All of that. And think total landed cost shipping, duties. Watch out for those U.S. Section 301 tariffs on molds. They can add 25%.
Ouch. Okay. And negotiation is normal on price, terms.
Expected. Try to link payments to milestones like sample approval.
Good tip. Then there's the design collaboration phase, DFM.
Design for manufacturability. where the supplier suggests tweaks to make it mold better.
Mm.
Super valuable. Also, mold flow analysis.
To predict plastic flow issues before cutting steel.
Exactly. Saves a lot of headaches. Review and approve of the final mold design carefully. Changes later are expensive.
You also need to understand a bit about the mold itself, don't you? Steel grades like P20, S136.
Helps to know the basics, yeah. Different steels for different lifespans and plastics. Cavity count, runner type, cold versus hot runner. These all impact cost and performance.
Okay, molds being built. How do you keep track?
Monitor progress, regular updates, photos. Know the typical timeline, maybe 4-6 weeks for T1 samples, but be aware of potential delays like Chinese New Year.
Right, then the mold trials, T0, T1, T2.
T0 is usually internal checks. T1 is your first look, expect some defects, give that detailed feedback. T2 should show corrections. Sample approval is a huge milestone.
And alongside all this, quality control, QC.
Have a plan up front, what gets checked, material certs, dimensions using CMMs, function tests, visual checks against standards.
Inspections too, in process, final pre-shipment.
Pre-shipment is vital before that final payment goes out. Consider third-party inspectors for an unbiased view too.
Makes sense. Almost there. Logistics, shipping.
Sea freight is slow but cheap for heavy molds. Air freight is fast but pricey. Get a good freight forwarder.
And understand Incoterms, EXW, FOB, CAF, DDP.
Yeah, know who's responsible for what and when. FOB is often a decent balance. Understand duties. HS codes, molds are usually 8480.71.80, and factor in those potential tariffs again.
Payments TT wire transfer is common.
Most common. LCs offer security but are complex. Typical mold payment is like 30-50% deposit, balance on sample approval. Negotiate those terms.
Finally, the legal side and communication.
Absolutely critical. Get a solid manufacturing contract written under Chinese law, in Chinese, detail specs, QC, price, delivery, clear mold ownership by you, IP protection, NNN, warranties.
That NNN again. Crucial before sharing sensitive stuff.
Cannot stress that enough. And communication? Be clear, use visuals, confirm understanding, document everything.
So pulling it all together, success really boils down to what? Thorough prep.
Thorough prep, meticulous due diligence, crystal clear specs, robust QC.
Active involvement in design, solid legal protection like that NNN.
Proactive communication and always balancing that cost versus risk equation.
It's definitely a project demanding careful management.
It absolutely is. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener. Thinking about this whole complex process, from spec to delivery, which part feels like it would demand your most careful, ongoing attention to make sure it succeeds? It's definitely a journey of learning,